हिंद, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद जी। Honorable member Shri N.K. Premachandran ji.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, sir, for giving me this opportunity to take part in the discussion on the subject. Electoral reforms, in particular, the SIR Special Intensive Revision of the Electoral Rules. Sir, I, on behalf of my party, RSP, register my strong opposition to the manner in which the electoral reforms or the SIR of the electoral rules is being carried out across the country. So SIR was meant to be a routine, transparent and citizen-friendly exercise, has turned into a chaotic, arbitrary process that threatens both the integrity of the electoral rolls and the safety of those forced to undertake that work. So the real intent and purpose of the current SIR raises serious concerns. Both the voters and BLOs are put to untold hardship and suffering and difficulty due to the undue haste steps taken by the Election Commission. Sir, even the integrity and credibility of the Election Commission is under grave suspicion. Sir, may I remind this House that the first and foremost important function of the Election Commission is to conduct the election free, fair and fear-free election, preserving the ethos of the democratic fabric of our country. Sir, the basic foundation of the ethos of the democracy is the individual voter. So, in such a democratic exercise, even one misplaced vote or one duplicate vote or one lost vote is adversely affecting the basic roots of our democratic fabric. So the present SIR of electoral votes is resulting in disenfranchisement of large number of people, in particular the poor, downtrodden, marginalized section of the society, that too in particular the minorities as well as the Dalit communities. So the 2 points I would like to highlight, that the first one is regarding the moral accountability of the Election Commission. So the moral accountability of every single entry in the electoral roll lies with the Election Commission of India. But today that accountability is in question. Sir, when the leader of opposition, Shri Rahul Gandhi, has asked the legitimate questions regarding the electoral process by the Election Commission, what the Election Commission has said, it is the responsibility of the Election Commission to answer all the queries made by the leader of opposition. That is the responsibility of the Election Commission with full transparency and accuracy that has to be answered. But instead of that, what the Election Commission has did, instead of answering to the questions raised by the leader of the opposition, what you have to give a form in writing so that we will investigate into the matter. That was the response of the Election Commission. Means they are not even respecting the democratic fabric and the democratic ethos of our country. That is the attitude and approach of the Election Commission. So the LOP, the leader of opposition, is not only representing the opposition, but millions of citizens who believe in true spirit of democracy. In such a situation, definitely that has to be heard, that has to be answered by the Election Commission. But unfortunately, the attitude was totally negative. Sir, I'm coming to the second point is regarding the legal accountability. Sir, Article 324 of the Constitution gives ample power to the Election Commission. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, I would like to say that Article 327, the Parliament is empowered to make the laws. And by virtue of Article 327 of the Constitution, we have made two acts, RP Act of 1950 and RP Act of 1951. Sir, you may kindly see that RP Act of 1950, that is regarding the preparation of the electoral rolls and the revision, and the 51 is deals with the entire process of the election. And rules are also framed. Sir, Section 21 of the RP Act, yesterday McWalji, the Honorable Law Minister, was speaking about it. Section 21 of the RP Act 1950 is very specific on the preparation and the revision of the electoral roll. So 21 clause 2 speaks about the summary revision. Clause 3, that is 21 clause 3 speaks about the special intensive revision. And rule 25 of the registration of electors rules 1960, that is also speaks about the revision of rules. Sir, if you closely examine and scrutiny the above said provisions of the Constitution, the Act and the rules framed there, it is crystal clear that it is mandatory to do the summary revision before every election. Summary revision has to be done before every election, but the intensive revision is optional. The election commission can fix any time, determine any time, I do agree. But at the same time, if you go through all these provisions, the rules act is specific and envisages that the intensive revision has to be done when the election is not due. That is the spirit and the letter of the provisions of the Constitution as well as the RP Act and the rules framed thereunder. Sir, coming to that point, what is now the Election Commission is doing in Bihar, in Kerala, in West Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, that is this intensive revision is being done when the election is due. It is not proper. It is against the letter and the spirit of the RP Act, which was passed by the Parliament and the rules framed thereunder. So I would like to say that the act and the approach of the Election Commission is not fair, not legal. They are doing a wrong thing. Intensive revision is okay, but it's not at the time of the election. It is not at the time of the general election. That is the point. So regarding the powers of the Election Commission, the last point. So it is a misconception that the Constitution has provided unfettered authority and powers to the Election Commission. The Election Commission is not an extra. The Election Commission is not having any extraordinary authority. And if you see that, they can exercise the powers only when there is no statutory laws. So two cases I would like to cite: Mohinder Singh Gill versus Chief Election Commissioner, A.C. Jose versus Shivan Pillai. The Supreme Court has very specifically stated that the Election Commission has plenary powers, but they can exercise it only when there is no specific law to occupy it. And the Election Commission has to abide by the principles of natural justice. The Election Commission is an administrative body which discharges the executive functions, but to be governed by the laws. Further, the Election Commission is listing the documents to prove the citizenship is also wrong. Sir, Election Commission has no power to do so. Election Commission is not a part of the government. Citizenship is Act, sir, I will conclude within 2 minutes. Sir, the Citizenship Act is being governed by the Ministry of Home. And it is a domain, so it is absolutely the right of the Home Ministry to say that what are the list of documents to be produced so as to establish the citizenship. It is absolutely the domain of the Home Ministry. The Home Ministry has to say that these are the documents by which you have to prove the citizenship. It is not the Election Commission. So the Election Commission has no authority to describe or to determine the proof of documents so as to prove the citizenship. So I am concluding, sir. So my definite question to the Election Commission through this House: why the Election Commission is not using its own duplicate voter detection software? It is a tool specifically created to ensure the accuracy. And the second question is, why this much of undue haste in having the SIR? Sir, all this would go to show that SIR of electoral is lacking bona fides, and the approach of the Election Commission seems to be a partisan approach, and it is acting as a department of the government, and hence I demand the Election Commission to immediately halt this flawed process and stop the disenfranchisement of the large number of poor people from the electoral rolls. With these words, I conclude. Thank you very much, sir.
Papu Jadhav.
सबसे पहले SIR हुआ क्यों? Complete confusing.